are live with What Do You Have? Another Chinwag episode. I know.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. I've been getting yelled at. People are like, well, did you die on the trip? What happened? Yeah, I think the last we left off, I had just pulled up from my journey up to Idaho, right? I think that's kind of where we left off. So
Yeah, you were talking about your car not overheating for once.
yeah, no, not overheating.
Yeah, that's what I said. Not overheating.
Oh yeah. Didn't overheat. No, it's a champ. It was a champ. I did say though, like it started. I think I don't remember what we really talked about, but I think on the way, I'm jumping gun here. I think on the way home, the gauge kind of broke or the wiring's weird, but I'm changing it to a capillary actual gauge. So we'll see. We'll see. But I think it's good. I think it's solid. Man, it's been a while for one of these chin waggers. Beans on toast, right?
Beans on toast. It's been so long. I think it was episode 42, I think was the last Chinwag we done, which was before we even dropped any merchandise.
Wow. And look at us both just rocking our corduroy cruisers.
Oh, man, we are looking so fresh right now.
I want to call it the Daily Driver, but like corduroy cruiser kind of rhymes, so, you know.
Yeah. We'll have to do it for the next one, maybe.
Whoa. Yeah, no, man. The merch is out. Super cool stuff. Go check it out. minilife37.bigcartel.com. We have a hat, we have a shirt, and we have some stickers. I restocked the stickers. I love these bad boys.
Hell yeah, the quality of them is so nice.
Really is, dude. I like. They're kind of expensive to make, but
yeah, but it's so worth it. Worth it.
Yeah, they're great. They're great. Sean, when's this episode going to drop? What can we not say?
Oh man, I don't know, because we've spoken to so many people and we've got so much planned. It's crazy just how much has sort of gone on behind the scenes.
I know.
I don't know. Do we play this one safe and just not say anything on the hopes that we've potentially released something, or?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're gonna play it safe. So hopefully you guys already know what we're talking about, and you're like, yeah, we already know. Oh man. Well, I love these Chinwag episodes, and eventually they'll just morph into their own kind of updates of Sean and I.
Hopefully more regularly as well for you all, for all you listeners out there who keep pestering us.
Yeah, absolutely. They're fun, and I'll give a quick little update on my project. And you guys might have already seen this on social media, depending on when this is dropped. But I got my gearbox. Oh, should we drop?
Beat you to it, man.
The media board wasn't pulled up. Son of a bitch. I got my gearbox, went to install it, made some stupid bonehead, it'd been so long I forgot the order of things, but anyways, it's almost back on. Unfortunately, I cracked the plastic housing on that first motion support bearing that goes into the transfer case, or whatever it's technically called.
Bruh.
Pain in the ass, but I got one sitting right here. I'm going to jump off after this show, go put it in. So hopefully the engine will be in this weekend. And hopefully we'll be driving by New Year's, Christmas. I don't know. I got some lofty goals. There's really not that much left. I just got to put the clutch side back on. And I'm anxious to do it. I think the reason that I cracked that bearing is when I was putting it back on. For those that don't know what I'm talking about, like when you pull off the transfer case, you have your drop gears. There's the first motion and the primary and I'm drawing a blank on the names of them. So you guys know what I'm talking about. Those that know. And the first motion has a bearing, like a little bearing on the end, and the race of that bearing goes into the transfer case. So it supports it and it rotates around that. And there's a little circlip that holds in the race, which I don't know why that's there, because that bitch is tough to get out. All the internet says, yeah, just heat it up heat it up and smack it on a board and it comes right out.
Dude, the
Dude,
amount of times I messaged you and said, "Dude, just heat it. Just put some fire on it. You'll be fine."
Oh, everybody. Yeah, did you heat it? Yeah, I literally had a torch. Went and bought a torch, put it on the ground, and I just held it. And it was just like, dude, like, long time. It was almost too hot for me to touch. With gloves, by the way, not just, smacked it. I maybe got like a 16th of an inch or something. It was just, I don't know if that is in millimeters. 1 millimeter.
Like, hardly anything.
Nothing. Barely. So I had to buy like a blind bearing puller, which worked great. But back to the point, I don't understand how that circlip actually does anything, because it's just like it's lodged in there. I don't know, man. But anyways, I think the circlip wasn't seated properly in its little groove, so I think it was just by a little bit. So when I went to go put it on, there's like some dowel pins that locate the transfer case, and then obviously the first motion bearing goes into the race. So I think that was poking out just a little bit in it. And when I was, probably forcing it more than I should, kind of jiggling it, I think it just cracked it. So,
man,
something to look out for today when I go do that. I'll be very, very careful.
Surgical gloves on and
popping it.
Yeah.
So, Sean, you'll know later today if it's a success or I say Mini is for sale.
Oh, Mike. I feel your pain, mate. I feel your pain.
But it all stems from this trip that I went on, the lovely Overcrest Rally in 2022 in Idaho. So, shall we just jump into it?
Let's do it, man.
Continue the story.
Let's finish this.
I think we got two. I think we got 2 episodes to go for this, because it's, it can be long. I can make it short. People want the details,
That's it.
So we ended last Chinwag with me rolling up. I got to the, quote unquote start line. It was check-in day. And so, I roll into town, and all the guys with their classic cars, and their cars are there, and they see, tiny town. So they saw one road in, one road out. So they saw me coming in, honking. Everyone's like, "Ooh," and so we had a great night that night. It was check-in, real cool, old little town. We went to this little, kind of bar, restaurant, pub type of thing.
I was going to say it was check-in like a giant party, basically. Pretty
much, yeah. It was super cool. They had, had some specials for us. So, we bombarded this place, man. I'm sure I don't think they've ever had a crowd like that. It's like that type of town. It's so small, very cool, very amazing people. They accommodated everybody. They had lots of cold drinks, some food, and we basically all just had our cars parked on either side of the street. And I was tuning my carbs because I forgot to needles, and I was timing it, because I had just put the engine in, remember? So I was doing braking miles, so I was kind of still tinkering with it.
It's still sort of hyped up and stoked that it's actually running, and
so it was just
overlook the minor things.
No, I mean, I had tuned it. I had initially I just was double checking, right? I just wanted to make sure everything was good, and I didn't think about, full disclosure, I didn't think about the altitude. I just didn't think about that. So it was running rather rich, but I was trying to kind of accommodate that with, moving the needle a little bit if you could. It didn't white work, but it ran. Just lost power about, I don't remember what RPM range, but anyways, it was awesome scene, awesome first night. All the cars were kind of just parked on the street outside this cool, kind of looked like a log cabin. I'll have to try to find some pictures of it.
That's cool. Were you guys the only Mini there then?
I was the only Mini, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, the only Mini. Lots of so those that don't know the Overcrest, they're a podcast. They do a rally. They have a bunch of cool stuff, and they kind of, I could be wrong by this, but they're originally kind of just like Porsche guys, and it's just developed into a lot of different things. So there are a lot of Porsche like fans of the show, and there are quite a few that come, newer ones and older ones, which is super cool. It's not just it's not a one trick kind of show. So there was um, old
It's like a lot of old BMWs I see, like the 2002s from like the 60s and 70s.
yeah.
I see on
There's
there, like the
honestly
reels and stuff.
yeah, there's honestly a lot. I mean, there's an E30 M3, and there's some old Porsches. There's old Alpha. There's old, I'm drawing a blank on that name, but super cool one with like the rally light on top of the roof. Like just a lot of stuff, a lot of really
Yeah.
cool stuff. But yeah, I was the only, old like rabbit trucks. I don't know if those are called that, but old
The
rabbit.
Volkswagen Caddies.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
actual rabbits and like just cool shit, man. A good group of guys and girls, and it was just cool. We just had all our cars lined the street. It was like this giant car show. Everyone's out there enjoying themselves, drinking, eating, blah blah blah. Cool sunset. We went to this old before I kind of just continue on with the rally. That night was just really cool. We went to this old like pub for you guys, bar. It was just like that shit was built in like the 1800s, I think. Probably not.
Damn.
That's not old for you guys, but yeah, but it was like originally like, then it turned it super cool, vintage vibes of like reindeer on the freaking moose on the wall and pool
They
table in
still
the
have like
middle.
the hitching posts out the front.
Oh, dude, it was so cool. Yeah, so cool. Beers for like $1. Like it was insane.
Damn.
I got my bill and I was like, did you mistake?
Yeah, is this right? Like, where's the tax on this?
yeah. It was super cool, and we all kind of stayed in the little motels in town. So
Yeah, that's cool, man.
all within one block. And the next morning, so this was the day one of the rally starting. Next morning, we all kind of pulled up to, I think it was an airport, if I'm not mistaken, like a really tiny airport.
That's
think-
weird.
Yeah,
I suppose. Well, I guess you got. Was it like a grass runway or was it like tarmacked?
yeah, it was just real tiny, not like an international airport. No,
Yeah.
it was like probably for crop planes or something,
Yeah, something like you
it-
see at like Indiana Jones or something.
Yeah, tiny. And we all were lined up there like 7 a.m. or something. And, the organizers get up and give their speech. And, in our packet, we have like our map, but they're also partnered with a really awesome company. And, I'm not sure if this is over in the UK or any other countries other than the US, but it's called Rallista. And it's an app that is like geared towards like rallying or like creating drives. So they had like the whole rally loaded into this app, and we could all download it. And basically, it was like turn by turn directions for the rally, just in case you got lost. And it has like offline support. It was super cool. So you had your actual traditional map and the navigation on your phone. So it was really
That's
cool.
handy.
And yeah, so they went over kind of, not rules, but, just safety stuff, what to expect, really encouraged to like go off the beaten path and search for yourself, because there's, so this was basically like the only thing was like, hey, by, I forget, 6:00 p.m., meet, at the final waypoint. We're having, a dinner and stuff like that. The next stop.
So did you get penalized if you didn't reach the checkpoints at a certain point then, or like time?
No. This wasn't like a timed rally or anything. It's, it's just a enjoyable thing to just be out there and go hit all the checkpoints and
sort of go see some cool
stops
sights and
exactly. Yeah. No time limits, no nothing. So yeah, he was like, enjoy yourself. Obviously, don't all leave at once. Because it's going to be a shit show.
Man, I'm just like Wacky Races start line or something, Dick Darsley right at the front.
Yeah, and I had met a few people like online before I'd gone, but nobody that I really knew. So I was like, and realistically, my car was by far the slowest there. Like a lot of those cars could cruise at 80 miles an hour, and I could drive 80 miles an hour, but it's screaming, right? Like it's
You're like
not
5,500 RPM, yeah.
exactly. So I was like, I'm just gonna head out early, and I'm going to see everybody. They're gonna catch up, or I'm gonna catch. It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
And so I head out, and there was a lot of wildfires at the time, so it was just really cool look. And it was like the sun was kind of blocked. It was still sunrise, I think,
Yeah.
and sun was kind of getting blocked from the haze. So there's so much smoke in the air, and immediately we take this like turn onto this road, and immediately it was just like one of the most scenic like roads I've ever been on. Like we're in the Sawtooth Mountains up in Idaho, and we're on like a road that's right next to a river. Pretty much the whole entire time, really. Like every road looks like almost following a river. So you can just imagine it's just going with the landscape. It's going with the mountain. It's going with the river.
I bet
And
that's absolutely stunning.
oh my God, dude. And my first thought was just like, how many times do I stop to take pictures? Like, how do I handle? Because I want to drive, I want to hit these twisties,
That's
but
it.
I'm like, I need to take
But
like,
did it get to a point though where, like, I don't know, halfway through the rally, like the sights just sort of blended into one, and you just sort of get
no,
used to it, and you don't even think about taking pictures anymore?
no, no.
Oh, really?
It was incredible because it's hard for me to explain. It was all the same, but so different, right? Like you're in
Yeah.
the mountains, you're by a river, but now you're overlooking the mountains by the river, but now you're immediately in a very technical switch back into the mountains. And now you're like, I mean, you've seen a lot of my pictures on Instagram, and I still have a ton of them that I never posted, but there's so many cool spots. Like, and you're also like driving through these old towns, and I loved old school Americana. I
Yeah.
love that old vibe, these vintage barns and these old wooden bridges, and like
Hell yeah. All like dust roads and
yeah, and a lot of these towns had like cool antique shops and just like little pit stops, like gas stations, petrol stations. It was incredible, and like I had stopped like 3 times in like 10 minutes. I was like, "Damn, I gotta go." Like, it wasn't that I had to go. There was plenty of time, but it's like, how do you like weigh those? Like, how do I
yeah.
keep going? Like, so
You got to pick your moments.
exactly. And, I just was driving, man, and people would catch up to you. And it was such a cool vibe. Like, you meet, so this is the first, I think I had just posted a picture not too long ago, a couple days ago, of it said like roadside repairs, and my car is jacked up on the side of the road. It was because immediately, like the roads were really smooth, but they were kind of not bumpy, but like they had some dips in them, and I was riding
Mm.
low, and I had tools and like a small jack and water and a bunch of
Spare
shit in my
tire and
yeah, I just had a bunch of
yeah.
shit in my car because I was on a road trip, and so every like so often it was like I was just like clipping the
Oh no.
tire. I like wore a little hole through the fiberglass on my Group 2 flares, and so I just pulled over. I was like, I'm just gonna raise the rear, just a quarter of a turn or whatever it is, just to get it up enough, because I knew it would be enough.
Yeah.
But where I'm going with this, it was just so cool because some of the other guys from the rally, they see that when you see a car like that out in the middle of the road, like everyone knew who was on the route. Mind you, we had giant like door roundels. How do you say that?
Roundels.
Roundels. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we kind of knew, but they would all pull over like, "You good? Like, need help?" Like thinking you're broken down or whatever. It was just such a cool vibe, man.
Yeah.
And just kind of give them the thumbs up when they're passing by. Um, so anyways, the first day, I'm just taking it all in, and there's like a moment when, like I said, we're kind of going up this road, and I see this really cool guy who's Canada. He has I don't know what mark. I'm not too familiar. He's a Mark 1, Mark 2, I don't, Rabbit. One of those
Oh, okay.
boxier
Yeah.
ones. One of the
Yeah.
boxier
Yeah.
ones. Mark 2, Mark 1. I don't know. Sorry, guys.
No Volkswagen show.
Yeah, sorry, guys. Really cool, awesome dude. I saw him pulled over, so I just kind of stopped, and he was just kind of taking it all in, I think. And we started chatting, so we started driving together, evenly matched ish, right? And man, dude, it was such a cool moment. We were just
Yeah.
flying through these mountains and just taking these turns, and then we would pull off, and I got him coming around the corner on the video. He got me coming around the corner on the video, and it was just, man, it was such a vibe, such a vibe. It was like I had no idea what to expect. I knew it was going to be cool. I drive canyons here all the time. It's amazing, like, but it wasn't about just the roads. Like Chris, who runs over, one of the guys who runs Overcrest. There's three of them. Chris and Jake are the two guys on the podcast. But he like handpicks all this stuff, and he does a great job. And it's not just about the roads; it's about like the whole experience. It's about that small town that we start in. It's about the towns that we stop in. It's about the waypoints. It's about these little things, and they handpick who's allowed to come. You know, you have to write. Cool. Yeah, you have to write like a little essay, submit some pictures and stuff like that. So it's not just a bunch of Joe Schmoes that can afford it. It's just good people that want to be there. And
that's how it should be.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and that's just kind of how it was. And so we were driving, whatever, and then just some other meaningful, like memorable moments. Like, I think I posted this picture not too long ago, because it was like, I said, like, one of the most scenic bathroom breaks I've ever taken. It was like, it had these like
yeah, I saw that on Instagram.
Yeah, and you don't see what's behind me, but I parked my car. It was just this giant turnout, and overlooking the like valley from the mountain, and the roads like going through the woods. And there's just like, they had these giant like porta potties, basically like a hole just dug deep into the ground. It was looks like the weird. It's just like so weird. It was like nothing to flush. It just like fell into the hole in the ground. I don't know how.
Stuff a little bit of dirt over it. It'll be fine. Yeah.
They gotta like come out and pump it or something. I don't know, but it was just like, and I just was laughing, and I was just hanging there, and I was just taking some pictures, and just so quiet. Right. You've been out. I'm sure a lot of you guys have been out of the city, and there's no noise pollution. And like every once in a while you hear some birds or something, but it's like eerily quiet. It's like hard to,
especially
like,
if you're not used to it.
Yeah, it's hard to like just sit there and listen to nothing. Right.
It's almost deafening, isn't it? At times.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden I hear just like, it's just getting loud. I was like, oh yeah, this is so cool. And a few of the guys pull up, one in I'm sorry guys, I'm a mini guy, but the clown shoe M car, right?
Oh,
the BMW
Z3M.
Yeah, I was gonna say Z3M, right? E36 M3, I believe. And what else was in that group? I don't know, but a few really cool cars that pulled up, and then we just all kind of posted up. That was one of my favorite parts, was one person would pull over on a scenic route, and more guys would come around the corner, and they would see them like, oh, that shit looks cool. And we would just like sit. It was like just pop up meets throughout the mountains. Cool. It was so cool, dude. I can't even.
That's almost like living like in a video game or something, like Forza or something like that. That's so cool. That's what every petrolhead dreams of being able to do and happen.
Yes. And they're I think you guys maybe seen that other hat that I wear sometimes, the green one, and it's their whole like kind of trademark is sports car vacation land. And that's what this was, man. It was just like vacation land with sports cars, and we were just, dudes being guys and car girls and all this shit, and just, oh man, it was so cool.
Yeah, you're making me jealous sitting here, man.
Oh, dude, I'm just reliving it right now. And this whole time my car was doing pretty good, and I think I had mentioned I was having brake issues, but for the most part I could just cruise, and every once in a while I'd feel like it would kind of get stopped up, so I'd just bleed the nipple a little bit, and it would free up the brakes. I had great brakes, so luckily my brakes were working to stop my car. You know what I mean? So I wasn't too
Yeah.
worried about it.
Did you ever get like
Uh,
much brake fade down the canyon roads or anything with it?
no, knock on wood, I've never had that issue. Knock on wood, I don't. My brakes are fairly new, so but I never had issues with that. So
Nice.
it's probably because I don't brake.
Hey,
It
I'm
never
sorry.
lifts, baby. Um, yeah, and so to kind of finish out that day, I guess we, the waypoints were you could take a gravel section, like there. Well, there's two kind of options: strictly tarmac or tarmac plus gravel, and you had the choice. And so I was like, a lot of cars came prepared for the gravel section. The like kind of like what are those Porsches called? Like the rally kind of style ones, like
Are
I'm
you thinking
talking
about
about.
like the 944s or?
Yeah, that kind of are
Yeah.
lifted a little bit with some meteor tires. Yeah, like there's a few of those super cool, and just some. There was like an Audi Quattro that was like, that shit's gonna dominate.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I'm gonna try this shit. Like, I don't know if I can make it, but I'm gonna try it.
On your semi
And
slicks.
no, I have the A008 song,
Yeah. I
so
mean,
it was fine. It's like they're like it's a gravel section, but it's like I don't know to call them fire roads, kind of up in the mountains.
okay,
So
yeah.
they're not like shitty roads, but like uh, I mean, it was just great and not terribly, and it was good weather at the time. So I was like, I'm gonna give it a go, and I start, and I was like, oh, this is sick, but it was graded, so it was super like like, and I
Oh,
was like, oh my god, I can't like, and I looked at the map, and I was like, this is gonna be 3 hours plus, maybe. I don't remember, but I remember, I don't know, I remember exactly how long. It could have been longer. It was
it
multiple.
probably felt longer.
No, it was going to be that, like per the GPS, like it was
Mm,
going to be multiple hours on this road, um, to get to the end point of the day one. And I was like, there's no way I can drive this like slow, because the mini small wheelbase, it was rattling and stiff
yeah.
suspension. I did it for a little bit, hoping it would get better. Apparently, it did. After a few miles, I just had to turn around. I did it for a little bit, had to turn around. It was just no way I could do that. And if
I
I
probably
broke,
would have done the same.
yeah, I mean, but if I broke down out there, I would have been not screwed, but screwed,
Yeah.
because the main road, albeit in a pretty isolated area, there's people traveling it. This
Yeah.
gravel road is not like it was pretty much us and the one local that was getting through to so it could have
Yeah.
been if I broke something out there, it would have been I was by myself, so I opted to turn around.
Yes, probably the smartest move you could have done, actually.
Yeah, it was cool. I was kind of pulling the handbrake a couple times, drifting the corners and thinking I
Mr.
was
Paddy Hopkirk here.
Mr. Patty, sliding it around.
I
I was
mean, it
just
would have been
like,
rude not to, right?
yeah, I was just like, full right, Overcrest,
Yes, get a little bit of the left foot braking going on as well.
a little bit, yeah. So I turned around, I hit the tarmac, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful cruise. Like I said, following this, I think it was called the Snake River. I don't remember if that was day one or day two. But I honestly, the 2 days are kind of blurred together. But at day two, I'm gonna say it's day two and save it for the next one. But anyways, we're getting going, and I'm going kind of towards. It was at this point, it was kind of a long day already, so I was kind of getting tired. So I was like, I'm just gonna head there and stop every once in a while. And I was just stopping. I was like, man, these trees are really pretty, giant, like pine trees. And by the river, I was like, I'm just gonna kind of pull over and take a second. And I pull over. I'm snapping some pictures, and I look out, and I was like, holy shit, there's like a bear over there.
Oh, god
I,
damn.
I think it was
Like,
a,
full
a
on grizzly.
I think it was a brown bear, yeah.
Damn.
And I'm pretty far away. Like people are like, don't bother bears. I'm like, I didn't bother. I was like pretty far away, but I could see it. So I was just kind of on the other, and it was on the other side of the river. So hopefully their cubs weren't near. But I like took a little video of it. And I was like, man, this is just insane. Like, it was just like, what else can you pack into this? Like, that could happen. Like, you got a river, you got the, the roads, the scenic towns, and freaking bears and wildlife. I didn't see an eagle. I was hoping to see a bald eagle.
Next time.
Next time. You could hear him though. But so I continued on, and just I can't describe how beautiful these roads are. And we pull into the next kind of town. It was like slightly early for the dinner, which was another maybe 30 minutes past the hotel or motel that I got. And I checked into the motel and kind of unloaded some stuff and headed towards the dinner. And the dinner, I was like, damn, it's like 4 minutes away, but it was 30 minutes away because it was like at this lake, and the road to the dinner itself was like second to none. I kid you not, dude. It was like switchback, and all in the woods, like in the middle of nowhere. I was
Just
like,
literally like a mini rally stage in the rally that you're already doing. That's
and it's kind of late in the day, so sun's kind of low in the sky, and it was breathtaking, dude. And it was a super cool, like this lake. I don't even know what this place was. I think it's like kind of cabins by the lake, and they have a restaurant and this and that. And I pull up, and a lot of people are there already. And I don't want to say, like, it sounds like I don't know, pompous or whatever, but I like was like one of the poster cars of the rally. That one of the guys who does the art, drew I'm showing a picture right now of one of the little kind of gifts that we got for this. It was a little postcard, and so some of the art was my car.
Honestly, the artwork on that is so cool. I love that.
Amazing stuff. Jeff, I forget his name on Instagram, but he does some cool stuff for their artwork. But he drew my car for the rally. So and a couple other guys' cars, right? So when I pull up, I had no idea. I just pull up just to join in, and they're like, oh, like keep going down, like, because everyone was parked in the parking lot up top, and we were down by the lake to eat. They were catering stuff, and he was like, go down there, like just follow the signs and they'll park you. I was like, and I get down there, and they had me, the other one of the guys in the Alpha. I think I'd mentioned it before, like their windshield blew out, old Alpha, and they do the whole rally with motorcycle helmets on.
That's hardcore, isn't it?
So funny. Like within like a few miles of leaving, I think, to go to the rally, their windshield like blew out, and they're like, we've gone too far. They went to like Walmart. They went to Walmart and got these motorcycle helmets with like wind visors on them so they could do the rally. And so they had like these big coats, gloves, and helmets. Oh, epic.
Absolute legends.
Yeah, so it was like the two kind of owners' cars. Well, one was this awesome other cars, W something, one of the older Mercedes that he did this sweet engine swap on. My car, the Alpha, and then the other guy's like 72, 74 Porsche 911, super cool. So it was they were like kind of displayed down there.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and it was cool, and they had all the tables and the string lights, and it was just such a cool vibe, man. Again, like, right, I was just like, this is epic.
Sort of don't know where to begin and to soak it all up, really, I guess.
Yeah, and it was a cool moment for me because, again, not to toot my own horn, I was just very proud at that moment because it just kind of all these memories started rushing. I try not to talk about myself very often, or I don't like brag about myself very often, but like this car to me is very special. It was my first classic Mini. I got it, and it was a piece of shit, and I put it all back together, drove it, broke it, and pulled it out, and I, with the help of a lot of people, finished this engine build in time to go to this rally, because I'd been wanting to go to this rally, and I made it, not without some issues, right? But I made it, and I'm here, and they like kind of like spotlighted me in a way, and
Yeah,
so I had the engine open or the bonnet popped, and people were talking to me about it, and they're like, "Dude, I can't believe you made it." And it was just like a cool moment for me, and I got to
that's
tell the
it.
story, like a little bit of the story, because not a lot of the people knew. And they're like, "Damn, you drove from Southern California to get here and that." And I was like, "Yeah," like, and I, because honestly, I had no idea. I thought most people drove, and a lot of them did, and a lot of fucking real further than I drove. But
Mm.
a lot of them, rightfully so, trailer their car to the event and then drive the event and then it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah,
So a lot of the people were just talking to me about it. Was just fun, right? That's why
that's
like we
it.
started the podcast, right? Because I like hearing those stories, right?
Exactly,
That's my
exactly that.
point,
It's,
and
it's
that's
no different if we were stood in the car park. We'd probably still be having the same conversations with each other.
exactly. And it was just cool, and a lot of people don't know a lot about minis there, and it was just fun, and to get to like eat and be with all these like-minded people and have some drinks, and just my car was sitting there. It was a cool feeling.
Yeah, what a way to celebrate getting the Mini back on the road and actually being able to enjoy it.
100%. It was a awesome moment, a great way to end day one. Um, and that night I was gassed, dude. I went back to the motel and just passed out. And the
Yeah, I'll bet.
next morning was day two. And day two, similar start, right? We started, like a giant parking lot, and just everyone kind of got rolling. And because it was day two, I kind of wanted to savor it a little bit more. I kind of understood how it was going to go.
Yeah.
And I kind of started slow. I went to a few of us met not terribly far. I think it was in that same town at, again, you can see this picture on my Instagram, outside of this kind of cool hipstery coffee shop. And we got, some coffee. We, hung out for, a few minutes, and we started going again. And, like I said, a lot of the other cars are much faster. So a lot of them break off, whatever. And I stopped at this, again, small towns. I see this, like, this called, like, and I'm drawing a blank on it. I have a picture of it somewhere, but it was this old Italian, like, deli, but it was a pretty big building.
Oh,
And,
okay.
yeah, it was pretty big. And I like walked in, and I was like, I gotta stop there. I'm Italian. I'm half Italian. So I was like, my dad would be pissed if I didn't stop here. So I stop, and I get this delicious, like, egg thing, like this egg wrap thingy. I don't know. It was so good. And just moments like that, just savoring it in at this
Mm.
small town. And then I started going, and I was like, oh shit, look at this little antique swap meet across the street. So I went over there, and I was just like picking through old small town Idaho stuff, and
Man, that's
super
cool.
cool. So the rally was a lot of that, a lot of stopping in these towns, and
Just out of curiosity, sort of on average, do you know how many sort of hours you were driving for the day then? Like from start to the end of the day?
at least 8 hours. It was a full
Damn.
day. Yeah, it was a full day. I could probably find it somewhere, but yeah, it was like 7 to 7. Well, yeah, at 7 to 6, I guess. It was a long
Yeah.
day.
That is a long day for any car, really, let alone being in a Mini for 8 hours a day.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, it took that long. I wasn't necessarily driving consistently that long, but like it
Yeah.
was a lot of miles and a lot of hours in the car. But it didn't seem like that, to be very honest with you, because of everything I've talked about. It was just such a great experience, and everything was different. You didn't know it was around the next corner.
Just always hoping for that extra bit of mountain or extra bit of river or small town or something. It's yeah, you've got that
Yeah,
excitement sort of hyping you up throughout the journey.
yeah. And I'm almost positive this was on day two, because we stopped through this small town and went to this other little antique shop, a few of us, and we were just chilling. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna, kind of head out. And again, it's just like you see the map, and the map's in my car, so I can't show it to you guys, but like it has all the routes, and they're all just squiggly, right? So you don't know. And then I get to this point, and it was called, man, I should have done some research. It was called Old Highway something. I'm
We
not
are
prepared.
so true professionals on here, guys.
Why I would be. No, it's not important to the story. It was just kind of a cool
Yeah.
name, you know. And I start driving it immediately. Immediately when I turned on it, I was like, this is going to be so epic and so sketchy. I can't even describe it to you yet.
Man,
It was
sketchiest
like,
journeys are the best, though.
brother, this was the tightest switchback, like elevation change. I wish I had stats on. I could probably like look it up, but it was basically to kind of backstory of it. It was literally the old highway that people used to use to get from this one town to the next, and you know it's obsolete now because they built like an interstate. Okay, so it goes from the bottom to the top of like the interstate, and the elevation change is so fast. Switchback, 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 like height.
Yeah.
Now the sketchy part was this was like old packed gravel.
Oh,
It
damn.
wasn't like a paved road, slightly paved, but
But like loose gravel on top.
yes. Now that's not the sketchy part. The sketchy part that there was no guardrails
Oh, damn.
and like no road like painted lines or anything. Like it
Was it
was
was it like just a sheer drop off that edge then?
yeah, pretty much.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like there's a picture on my Instagram and I stopped at the edge and it's kind of banked. And you could just see like it's like I tried to put the camera straight so you can see the bank on,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And it's just obvious. Not the whole thing was just straight drops, but majority of it was.
Does it sort of make like
was-
Pikes Peak look nice and safe compared to this road then?
I don't know about that.
Like a
I
little
don't
bit of
know about
Evo
that.
corner or something, yeah.
I'm hyping it up, but it was very, very. If it could go bad real fast if you were on this road and you weren't paying attention. Like it immediately,
If
I
you got caught
puckered up.
napping.
Correct. I immediately
Yeah.
puckered up and was like, I need to pay attention. You know, it was one of those moments. It was like, you know,
Yeah.
um, so I'm doing this road and forget if I had mentioned this, but like I had slightly started having issues with my gearbox. Like my synchros started to kind of feel a little weird. It was crunchy and downshifting into second. So I was having trouble on this road because a lot of it was needing to downshift to
Mm.
get around the corner at a proper speed. Um,
Yeah.
so I was like grinding the gear, trying to double
Oh,
clutch and
damn. No.
rev match real good. But hold on, I just found the picture. Let's see what it says. Old Highway 95. Oh, here I'll read
Nice.
this. I wrote the description. Old Highway 95, completed in 1915, served as Idaho's only north-south highway. It has many tortuous curves and switchbacks, which, if placed together, make 37 complete circles and let the road climb 2,900 feet in 14 miles to an elevation of 4,429 at the summit. It was not
Yep.
replaced with a new grade until 1975. So they
Dude, sign
drove
me
this
up.
road 1915 to 1975,
Can you imagine that?
37 complete.
On
It's
on those tiny little wooden wheels that they used to go.
bruh,
Oh,
it
man.
this road was so cool. I have a couple different pictures on there, and dude, Highway 95. Okay, this one little section had a guardrail I'm looking at, but you're looking at this. I'm looking at this picture. It looks like an old dirt track. Like it's like,
Yeah. Oh, that's so
oh
cool, man.
man,
That is so cool.
yeah. And look at this one has like old like just wildflowers. That's the guardrail.
Yeah.
Wildflowers.
Nice. Well,
Um,
I need to ship my Mini over, and then you and I will just go out and do the Overcrest, man. It sounds so much fun.
it's at different spots each year. So this year that I didn't get to go was Oregon,
Oh,
which
nice.
looked really cool. All that Pacific Northwest area is very beautiful and all, similar but so different in different
Yeah.
ways. But so, anyways, I'm flying as fast as I can up here, mainly using third, or if I got into second, I kind of just stayed there and just revved it out. Um, but yeah, and I do this road, and I'm like, I get to the top, and you can it kind of like levels out, and you're like, yeah,
Like a moment of thank God.
like I need a cigarette,
Somebody hand me the whiskey, please. Yeah.
So yeah, I had that feeling, and I see one of those easy pop up tents, couple cars, guys just hanging out at the end of it, and one of the sponsors of the rally was Nokian Tire. I'm not sure if you've heard of them, but they do a lot of cool like snow tires and stuff like that. I think
Oh, okay.
I forget where they're based out of, but they do like some crazy testing at like like lakes that are like iced over and shit.
Oh, decent.
Cool guys, great company. They just don't make 10-inch tires. So,
Oh, God damn
anyways,
it.
um, but they had like a little kind of pit stop set up, and I had no idea. And they had cold beer, local
Oh,
cold beer, some snacks and chairs, and we were just sitting there. Like, road was epic, and there was like this sign up there with the history of the old Highway 95, and
yeah.
man, we just sat there. We could just see and hear the other cars coming up, and we're just sitting there, an hour or so, and it was so good.
Like, literally living the life.
So it was just another one of those moments. I'll never forget this, dude. That road was epic. The end of it was epic.
See, the thing is, this is what driving should be. None of this, you leave the house within 10 minutes, you're either hitting the roadworks or you're hitting traffic and you just sat there. It should be you get in your car, you purposely get in your car, you go out for a drive and you find places like this or meet people like that and experience what's around you.
I can't imagine what it feels like for some people that don't understand that. What's like that
Mm,
Jeremy Clarkson kind of quote? And it's like that famous like clip, and he's like, some people think, they just look at a car as a hunk of rubber, metal, and whatever, and
that's
it's
it.
so much more than that. And that's what this is to me. This whole trip was to me. Excuse me, and yeah, it's the experience, and it's what the car brings to me, and it's like just taking the car, and it's I don't necessarily suffer from any mental issues, but I work from home, so you get cooped up, and this is an outlet. The peace that it brings you, or the attention that these roads command, and
That's it.
then you finish and you stop, and you can just take it all in.
That's
And
it.
it's like, it's just like adrenaline pumping, and just like, and I wasn't even being crazy on, let's just put that out there. I was just, but it brings that, I
Inner
don't know.
peace.
Yeah. And, man, it was epic. It was epic. And, so eventually we, carried on from that road, and, that night, so the end of the rally, and they do this now consistently, is a like drive-in movie, and they have
Oh,
the Overcrest drive-in movie. So it was the last waypoint was at a movie, like a drive-in movie
that's
in
so
this old
cool.
town, and they do like they basically highlight automotive uh, filmmakers or small content creators. There's YouTube people on there, but there's bigger ones on there, and they kind of not splice together. They edit a very
Yeah.
nice video. Um, it kind of like, it's almost like an awards show, and then they play the short clip or video of it, and it was really cool. And we all basically, I'm not to skip forward, but the rest of that trip was very amazing. The roads were amazing. I can't say that enough. Um, and we end in this small town. Again, we were all just kind of gathering there, having some drinks, and waiting for the film festival to start. And it was just cool. We were all parked there. They do a little presentation, all these cool cars that just
Yeah.
battle scars. Some of them crashed. Some of them, yeah. So some of them were there on tow trucks. And, but it was just cool. It was a great way to end this trip. And I'll kind of leave it at that, because that wasn't the end of the journey for me, but it was the end of that rally. And we ended in kind of like northern Idaho, not terribly far from where I went to grad school, which was pretty cool. So I
Oh wow.
was familiar-ish with the area. And so that night we all kind of got together and had fun and watched this movie, and then we kind of all went our ways the next morning. And that's where I'll leave off, and we'll end. And the next Chinwag, I'll tell you about my journey home, which was just as amazing. I spitballed it. I literally had no plan on the way home, because all my planning was to get to the rally and do the rally, right? So that
Yeah.
the first 3 days or 4 days or whatever it was to get to the rally and do the rally was all planned. Then Overcrest planned the rally, and I had my motels picked out and everything. On the way
Nice.
home, I had
Oh,
nothing,
yeah. Well,
literally nothing, and it was epic. And I decided to decided to go to the coast and then drive down the coast through Washington, Oregon, and then into California. And I'll end that.
nice.
I'll end that here, and then we'll
Just
go over that.
just a quick question before you end it. Did you, at the time when you were doing all the switchbacks and everything, did you still have the big OEM wheel, or did you have your Mountney one on the car at
Yeah,
the time?
yeah, I've had my Mountney for a while. So, dude, when I switched that, although mine never had like a giant OEM wheel,
Did it
but
not?
switching to the Mountney, I loved the Mountney. It's tight, it's small, it feels good. I have my cool driving gloves, the leather on
Yeah.
the wood feels good. I love it.
Like Mr. Steve
Um,
McQueen, yeah.
yeah, honestly, like, most of like once you kind of are at speed, like the Mini has a great steering feel. I feel like it's not hard, but not. Oh, you have a tiny ass steering wheel.
Yeah, mine's like 250 mil, or it's I think it works out to like 9 inches. It's tiny, yeah, yeah. So when you're
Sure.
doing like freeway motorway speeds, it's twitchy.
Yeah, no wonder. Yeah, like going
Yeah,
around these switchbacks, like it definitely wants to auto or whatever self steer back to
yeah,
straight. So you're holding it, but it gives you a good feel, and it's not like much harder to turn it.
yeah,
Um, I think it's I don't know what the 13 inches. I
yeah. Because
think
you've got is it the traditional style?
yeah, Mountain Classic
Yeah,
ones.
I love the wood on those. Like I keep looking at them, I'm like, do I change my boss and go for a traditional style like yourself? Because they just look
Is your
so
boss
timeless
different?
and classy.
Aren't
So
all the Mountain ones mount the same?
no, so I've got an M range wheel on mine. So the hub, I believe, is slightly smaller than what your traditional one is. So I'd have to
Mm.
change my hub, but I've got a snap off steering boss on it. So I don't think it would. I don't know if Mountney do or don't do a hub for the bigger hubs on the steering wheels for ones like yours.
Yeah, you should get it's a good like mix, or even like they have, because mine's like the classic one, so it's like a thinner wood. They have
Yeah.
like some of those thicker ones. I really want to get one of their leather ones too.
Oh, yeah.
With kind of like the one that I have in the background here, but not not old and crusty. Yeah, they're leather ones. I love it, but I'm torn because they have like the polished or like brushed kind of center ones, and then they
Yeah.
have the black one. Like the black would
The
look cooler
black.
with my car.
Oh, mate, honestly, I've got an older style one somewhere behind me here, and the black just it doesn't go out of date. Like it doesn't look out of place. Whereas I feel
Yeah,
a lot of sort of brushed aluminium or things like that. Sometimes it does go a little bit sort of it sometimes it fades in and out
Fading in
of,
and out.
um, like fashion, I guess.
Yeah. Popularity or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I think mine looks great in the car and it fits, but for like a little more high performance driving, I feel like just a slightly more grip with the leather would be
Mm.
appropriate.
But that's what you got the driving gloves for, though, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the rally, super epic. Go check out my Instagram. The last freaking year has just been me posting pictures pretty much from the rally. Obviously some, old throwbacks in there, but so many good pictures. Oh, what did I just do with my screen? I don't know where it went. So many good pictures of the rally and the journey home. So you might spoil the second or third, the third one, fourth one. What is
Fourth
this?
one, I think. I think
The
this is going to
fourth
be the
one. This is a
third.
four-part
Yeah.
series, a 4-part Chinwag.
Hell
But yeah, I
yeah.
mean, you'll see the pictures, and I think you'll agree. Like the scenery is second to none. And honestly, hard to capture. I took my iPhone. That's all. I just didn't have time because if you remember correctly, I, whoa,
Mike's on the
sorry,
gin.
caught, I swallowed wrong. Um, if you remember back, it's been so long. I just got everything kind of put together, so I kind of just slapped everything together
Yeah.
to get going. So I really didn't have time to prepare with anything else and get a camera or whatever I wanted to. But yeah,
You're
there's
more
also a
prepared, though.
really So next one I do, I have really cool ideas that I want to do, and we'll see.
Man,
Maybe it'll be next year.
I'm flying out and I'm coming with you on it, even if
I
it's not
think
in my
that
car.
actually, Sean, that they do a co-pilot thing, which would be really cool. And
Yeah.
this year they're doing, or next year rather, they're doing two, one in the spring and one in the fall.
Ooh.
I
Okay,
think.
let's leave it to our listeners. If anyone wants Mike and I to go and do this and then come back and tell our tales, drop us a comment,
Well,
drop us a message, let us know. Because
drop us a message because you
yeah,
know what we could do? We could obviously film a lot of content
we could do it
and we
live out there.
could, I was just going to say, we could literally do a podcast from there and upload it that night of
Let's
just
do
the
it.
run and gun.
Mate, I'm sold.
I'm actually, Sean, I'm trying to figure out live streaming. I know there's a way to do it from Instagram, from our
Mhm.
Riverside account. So I'm trying to figure that out so it's like better quality. I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll figure it out, but like we could do something like that. I know
that
a
would be
lot
so
of it
cool.
doesn't have internet or stuff like that, but yeah,
We
it'd
can
be
make it work.
cool. We can make it work. But yeah, there's a cool picture on my Instagram of when I was doing the gravel section and I got there and I had my map pulled out in the car, and the iPhone has the wide angle thing. I'm sure most
Yeah.
phones do now. So you can see the whole map out through the window, and the lighting was great, and you could see the gravel road off into the distance. And
Yes.
I'm like, that moment though, I was looking at the map. Oh, look at the caption. Look at it in my head. It's perfect. The moment I realized I couldn't finish the gravel section without rattling the mini to pieces, because I looked at it and I was like tracing it with my finger. And I was like, yeah, that's not happening.
Oh man, what an experience.
Amazing, man. Super cool. I can't recommend doing stuff like that enough. There's another one. I think Amanda for Grainy Day. I
Hmm.
think, if I'm not mistaken, there's another cool one here called like Fault Line or something like that, and something kind of similar. I think it's a couple day kind of rally, and they have there's a lot of cool rallies across the United States that aren't. None of them are mini related, but
Yeah,
classic cars or anything. And I think it's just super fun. It's just it gets you out driving your car and with people that are like you.
exactly. And that's all any of us really want at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things that people ask me, like, well, would you, like, aren't you afraid of breaking down? I'm like, no, like, break it down, like, who cares?
Exactly, you're in
Like,
good hands.
right. The only time that I like I said, that I thought smart about it was on the gravel section, because it wasn't a well-traveled road. Everything else, not that it was a well-traveled road anywhere else, but there's people that live out there. I was not like I was definitely out in the middle of nowhere, and maybe I would have sat for an hour before somebody actually came by, but somebody would have come by eventually.
Exactly. You wouldn't have been completely and utterly stranded and on your own lost
Yeah.
in the hills in the pitch black, and you're hearing cries out in the darkness or something.
Yeah, and I had water with me, so.
I had to walk 25 miles to the nearest well.
Oh, that might have been true.
Yeah.
Oh man. Anything else for the people, Shawnee?
No, just except for, as you said earlier, we've still got merchandise going. Mike and I, again, we've been working so damn hard for you guys. We've got some really cool stuff behind the scenes going on still. So keep up to date with us on our social medias. You've got the main Instagram page, minilife.37 on Instagram. You've got Mike's Instagram page, which is at goldtooth, is it _cray?
Yeah, it's gold_tooth_cray.
That's it. And then you've got mine, which is just at scrapyard.
Boom. Boom. All right, boys and girls, I appreciate you listening to me ramble. And we will finish up the Mike's journey on the next episode. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. And I will catch you guys on the next one.
See you later, guys. Cheers.